Hello, everyone. Hope you've been good and you've been enjoying your life. Today is a sunny day here in Vancouver, British Columbia, and I took a moment, went on a little appointment that I had, and then enjoyed a bit of the sun. And as I was having a bit of a lunch salad and so on, I was thinking about a subject that I wanted to share with you for a while, but never got around to it. The bits and pieces of it may have been in some of the productions that I've done previously, but perhaps today I'll try to somehow maybe approach it in a different angle and bring into the discussion some of the points that maybe I never used it to explain what I mean in the other productions. And I think it would be a subject of a generality of how we perceive things in life, that it could be helpful to you, whether it is for choosing your girlfriend, or if you were a woman watching this, a girl, you may decide to reverse the roles, and perhaps it could be, of course, also uh, of use to you and make sense when you reverse the roles and see if it would also be true in your mind for you. Um, the subject that I want to share with you, it's about how we perceive things and how we are programmed to perceive things, which affects how we choose things, how we see life, how we are affected in pretty much everything that we do. In this particular case, it could be helpful in how we see the woman that we want to choose as our girlfriend or wife. And as I mentioned, the women can reverse the roles and see if that could be, of course, of benefit to them as well. But it also could be used in many other things, however we perceive things in life. And let's start, because it's not going to be easy to weave them together. However, I try to do my best to make it uh, easily digestible or visualized by you, or at least make sense to you. Um, I think the reason that we seem to often, at least sometimes, make a mistake in decisions that we make as far as choosing our girlfriend, or you know, in life, going wrong or not being exactly as it should. I think it has to do with how we go about um, understanding what we are looking for and what is important. As you know, if somebody asks you, what do you think? What do you imagine? What comes to your mind? What's the image of a happy relationship or a happy family or a successful, fortunate, happy couple or happy home? Usually, depending on what your background is, what kind of a vision or picture has been placed into your subconscious while you were growing up. In other words, what you've been seeing, what the image of success for you as a family has been. But for many of us, it could be an image of a husband and wife and a home and I don't know, a car and kids, and wife very loyal, husband very loyal, educated family, and you can see a sunny day and maybe kids are playing outside in the yard, and you can see the woman in your image, in your picture of this whole scenario, the woman being beautiful, very neat, very clean, and nicely dressed, presentable, proper. And so, as part of this image, there are many things here. There are kids and children, all nice and clean and playing around, properly, and maybe a barbecue in the picture, and the husband is a nice, kind person, which supposedly you would imagine yourself that kind of a family you would have. You be the husband or the man of the home, and then the wife is very pretty, very pleasant, very everything is nice and clean and well placed and so on. So and then everything looks good, everything looks pretty. Yeah, that's usually what we've seen in the movies, or what we've seen or read in books, or seen in all around us, maybe some families, or that has made an effect on our minds, and therefore that may have turned out to be the picture we have of a happy, proper, successful family with these credentials, attributes that I just named, be the image in our head, in our subconscious. Okay. So obviously, this is what we would envision, that what we would like to have, possibly. And so there were lots of things involved to make this picture. But funny enough is that when we see a beautiful woman, we give all these other parts of the scenario. We find her worthy enough and qualified enough to be part of this scenario just because she is pretty. But we talked about the credentials were, or criteria were, being clean and pretty and healthy and educated and neat and loyal and well-dressed, presentable, well-spoken. See, we had lots of other criteria for her. But as soon as we see a woman fitting one part of the attributes, in other words, she looks pretty, suddenly all the other things that we had in the picture as a prerequisites for her to get this job, or this to get this role, suddenly in our mind is already manifested, that she has all the other qualifications as well. Well, I think that is very similar to us thinking that a piano player who plays a very good piano also is capable to cure some kind of illness as a doctor, also be able to write a good contract in a business situation, also is able to construct and repair, I don't know, a problem with the house, also is a good pilot, also is a good cook. I mean, why am I saying this? Because when someone is playing a piano, because he plays it expertly well, it could be at any age, a child, adult, but because he has that wonderful talent and expertise to play such a beautiful concerto, or of any kind of a chosen music, we give to that person, to that pianist, many other credentials that he or she does not even have, such as we give him the smarts. We say, oh, he's very smart, he's very intelligent, he's very successful, he's very this and that and so forth. But all the guy or the girl did, played a good note. But our preconceptions brings one notion of success. When we see one notion of success, a good quality of performance or ability in something, we suddenly bring all the other possible good attributes, and we say just because he plays a wonderful, perfect piano, is a great pianist, therefore he must also be good in math, he must also be good in judgment and social abilities, he must also be a fair person, he must also be kind, she must also be a good cook, she must also be a good woman, she must also be a good judge of character, she must also be sweet and fair and kind and a good mother, she must also be she also must be, she must, whatever, she also must be romantic, she also must be faithful. Suddenly all the sciences and all the things that are good is now assumed that this pianist have. But we don't think that way, do we? We kind of tend to think that way. But when we ponder on it, we realize it's not correct to think just because someone plays a good piano also has many other credentials that really we just gave it to that person, and he or she probably doesn't even have a clue. Could be a real nasty person, bad temper, bad mouth, vicious or negative in energy, abusive in some other ways, mentality not proper. Well, we don't think of that way. Why? Because we attribute a good happening, a good thing, a positive thing, and we somehow suddenly our mind goes to all other positive things, and suddenly we credit this person with all these other things. But in reality, as we just talked about, it's not true, is it? Just because someone plays a good piano, it doesn't mean he deserves or she deserves to have many other good attributes that we may credit him or her with. So why is it that when we see a beautiful woman, which is one part of the credentials of that pictures that we painted as a good successful family, we also think that she's got all the other necessities or necessary credentials to fit into this picture. So we pick her as what we want to be with, what we want to love and cherish, the key to our puzzle or the picture that we want to create. She becomes the center of that, the creation of what we had envisioned. But not having considered all the other shortcomings that she has, all the things that she doesn't possess, qualities that she doesn't possess, but we just gave it to her, not considering all the negative parts of her character or role, we will be quite surprised when we see our envisioned picture of a success family is not happening or is failing. And we wonder why. Well, she looked beautiful. She had the nice clothes on, which in my vision and picture, the woman in that successful family little movie that I have in my head had a beautiful, nice dress and very summery clothes, and very pretty, very nice, high heels and nicely neat. So how come? Because what happened was we replaced a good pianist for a doctor, for a business specialist, for a swimmer, for a captain of a ship, for a pilot. We gave her all the things that she didn't have, or he didn't have. So what I'm trying to say is that we tend to go after things that we feel they're a little bit better than us, like higher, they have a value. We stick ourselves to something that is got more value than us, or if not, at least has a good value. And anything that has a good value, we like to have it. We consider it very worthy to go after. And that's why many people keep going shopping, because especially when they're depressed, they go shopping because they feel they don't have much value because they're depressed. When we're depressed, we don't feel valuable. And therefore, we go shopping because we see many items that to us it seems very valuable. They serve a purpose, they're built well, made well, or maybe they have a brand name which has a good reputation in the eyes of the other people, and that we feel owning it, having it, may help us to increase our value. Of course, we buy that, and then a few days later we see we're still the same value, and we now need more value. Then we go buy more and shop more and shop more, and so forth, and then of course we get into lots of debts too. So this little bit, the moral of the story is that never go shopping when you're depressed. Don't think by shopping you will fix your problems. You just create some more problems because you're spending what you don't have, which that by itself is a problem. Even if you have money, that will not solve your immediate problem. So the whole story, what I'm trying to get at is that we tend to think what is good looking, pretty, well made also has many other uses that we are not sure of and are not proven of. So a beautiful woman who is very stylish is only portraying one part of the picture what we have. And anybody can get a nice clothing, a nice dress, a nice shoes, and comb her hair very nice, and momentarily for an hour or two look like a princess. But that doesn't mean she possesses all the other attributes that is necessary to fulfill this particular image that we have of a successful family: the education, the know-how, the social values, the social understanding, and the kindness, the loyalty, the unselfishness, all the attributes that we are supposed to have ourselves and to offer for that creation of that family. So I guess what I have tried to communicate with you here is that one part of a picture should not represent that actor of that part of that movie also in reality possesses all the other credentials and requirements that we need to create that wonderful movie. In other words, let's say if an actor is a good fighting scene actor, that doesn't mean that actor also possesses a good romantic scene or sports scene or debate scene or consultation type of a character in the scene. So in other words, understand, we boys are very visual. When we see somebody really properly dressed and pretty, we, instead of investigating if she has all the other parts that we talked about, the education and the manners and morals and so on and so forth, instead of investigating to make sure that all the other parts are also within this physical beauty that we see, we simply don't bother. And then later on we wonder why it didn't work. So remember, the physical attributes of one particular kind does not and cannot represent all the other positive and necessary attributes and qualifications that we may be looking for to create something. So pretty much I think I may have exhausted this issue at the moment. Maybe not in the right mood to make it more clear, but I hope you understood what I'm trying to say. The whole idea is that anybody can get a nice dress and wear it and look nice, but just looking nice cannot represent all the other qualifications that is necessary to create a good match and a happy circumstances. I guess that'll do it. So have a wonderful day, ponder on this, and perhaps write me any kind of a question or any kind of a comment that you may be having, and we will see if we can continue that discussion. I lost you. Okay, a little further. Have a wonderful day. It's sunny day. Hope wherever you are, it's sunny for you. If it's raining, at least sunny in your heart and in your energy. Talk to you soon, and enjoy.